Hello and welcome to today's class. In today's class, we will see Bragg's equation, right? So what is Bragg's equation? It is interrelation between wavelength and distance, okay? So this equation is derived using Bragg's spectrometer, right? First we will see what is Bragg's spectrometer and then we will come to this equation, okay? So this equation is derived using Bragg's spectrometer. Okay, now this Bragg spectrometer, it was actually designed by father and son, right? So father's name was William Henry Bragg, okay, father, and son's name was William Lawrence Bragg, okay, this is son, right? And what they did, they showed us that how using X-ray spectrometer we can analyze the crystal structure, right? So using X-ray spectrometer, how to analyze the crystal structure, right? And they got a Nobel Prize for this in 1915, okay? So they got Nobel Prize in 1915 for studying the crystal structures like NaCl, ZnS, diamond, etc., right? So now we will see first Bragg spectrometer and then using this we will try to find the Bragg's equation, okay? So this is a Bragg spectrometer. It consists of X-ray tube which emit X-rays. So this is X-ray tube, right? Here you have a lead slit through which X-rays are allowed to fall on the crystal in the spectrometer. This is spectrometer, okay? So this is lead slit. This is spectrometer. Here you have kept a crystal on which you are allowing X-rays to fall. So this is crystal, okay? These are reflected X-rays, reflected X-rays, right? These X-rays again after reflection they are passing through lead slit. Again here you have lead slit, right? These X-rays after reflection they fall in an ionization chamber which is filled with methyl bromide. So this is your ionization chamber, filled with CH3Br, right? The negative ions accumulate here and the positive ions accumulate at this end. So negative ions accumulate and here positive ions accumulate, right? These ions hit at these points and you can see current in the galvanometer. You can notice the current in the galvanometer, right? So, using Bragg's spectrometer, X-rays of certain wavelength strike the crystal and the distance between two layers of the crystal can be calculated, right? So, X-rays of certain wavelength strike the crystal and distance between two layers of the crystal is calculated, right? So, basically it gives the relation between distance and wavelength, right? Now, we will see how we are able to calculate this distance, okay? So, I have a crystal lattice in which these are the two layers of the crystal, right, where the particles are arranged, right? This is the first X-ray and this is the second X-ray, right? These two rays are striking these 2 points on the crystal lattice, right? So, this is the wave for the first X-ray, right? After striking this position, it is reflected in this way, right? Similarly, this is the second X-ray. After striking again, it is reflected back in this way, right? So, this is the direction of propagation, this one, and in this way it is reflected, right? Now, you can see here that the first and second ray covers the same path up to this point, right? So, if I drop a perpendicular here, then this, and if I mark this as A and B, right? So, you can see that up to this point these two rays cover equal distance, right? Similarly, up to this point these two rays cover equal distance, right? So, I will mark this as point C, this as D, right? So, what I have done, I have drawn a perpendicular on this, right, and here also a perpendicular, right? So, we need to find this extra distance which the second layer is covering, right? This extra path covered by the second layer is called path difference, right? So, this path difference we have to find, right? So, now we will see how we can find this path difference. If I zoom this portion, say it will be something like this, okay, it will be something like this, right? Now, this angle is theta, this angle is also theta, right? This angle is 90 degree, right? So, this angle will be 90 minus theta, because this whole is 90, this is theta. So, this portion, see, this portion will be 90 minus theta. Which one? This portion I will write with another color. This will be 90 minus theta, right? Now, if you see this portion, this is 90, right? This is also 90. So, if this is 90 minus theta, then this will be also theta. See, this portion, this is also theta, right? Yes. Now, if I want to relate these two sides. This is A, D, B and C. This side, sorry, this side and this side. This is perpendicular and this is hypotenuse, right? So sin theta is equal to what? Opposite side by hypotenuse. So it is AD by BD, right? What is BD? Distance D. So I can write this as AD by D, right? Or AD is equal to D sin theta, right? Now since AD is equal to DC, okay, so since AD is equal to DC, so the total path difference is AD plus DC. Total path difference is equal to AD plus DC, right? So that is D sin theta plus D sin theta, so 2D sin theta, right? Now if you want to see the wave, then the interference must be constructive, right? What do you mean by constructive interference? That is, the wave should be in phase. In phase means the crest of one should combine with the crest of another and trough of one should combine with trough of another, right? So this will be constructive interference and your resultant wave will have higher amplitude, right? So if you want to see the wave, then the waves must combine in constructive interference, right? For constructive interference, the path difference must be integral multiple of lambda, right? So for constructive interference, n lambda, right? Path difference must be integral multiple of lambda, right? It should be equal to 2D sin theta, right? Here n is called the order of diffraction, right? This n is called order of diffraction. Its value will be generally between 1 to 3, okay? So using Bragg's equation, we can find this D, right? And using D, we can find the radius of the atom. See, this is the distance, that is D, right? So radius is equal to D by 2, right? So in this way, we are able to find the difference between the two layers or distance between the two layers, right? We will see one example question so that you will be able to understand it in a better way. So the question says, the second order diffraction of X-ray with lambda is equal to 1 angstrom from a set of parallel plane in a metal occurs at an angle of 60 degree. The distance between the scattering plane in crystal is option A 0.577 angstrom, option B 1 angstrom, option C 2 angstrom and option D 1.15 angstrom, right? We will see the solution part of this. So what is given to us? Given lambda is equal to 1 angstrom, right? Then you have n, that is how much? 2, second order, right? Then what else is given? Theta is given to you. Theta is 60 degree, right? So you need to find the distance between the scattering plane. See, this is the plane, scattering plane. This is an X-ray making an angle theta, that is 60 degree, right? So what formula we are going to use? D is equal to, yes, n lambda upon 2 sin theta, right? N is what? 2 into 1 divided by 2 into sin 60, right? Sin 60 is root 3 by 2, right? So, this 2 cancelled. So, we got 1 by root 3 by 2. So, this is 2 by 1.732. So, this is 1.15 angstrom, right? So, option D is the correct answer, right? So, in this way, using Bragg's equation, you can find the interrelation between lambda and D, right? So, I hope you have understood the concept. If you have any doubt, you ask me in the comment section. Thank you very much. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Press the bell icon to get the latest updates on upcoming videos.